Welcome to Scentonomics. Unforgivable by Shanjan is a citrus aromatic fougere fragrance for men. It was launched in either 2006 or 2005 and was created by David Apel, Pierre Negrin, Aurelien, Guichard, and Caroline Sabas. Sean Puffy Combs mentioned, "Life without passion is unforgivable." According to him, the scent was aimed towards men from the ages of 18 to 35. This perfume is the winner of the FiFi Fragrance of the Year Men's Luxe Award in 2007, and it usually retails from about $30 to $40. So that was a brief intro on Unforgivable. Now we'll move on to the presentation. So in terms of the presentation, it comes in a simple box and also in some plastic holder, which I actually don't like, so I didn't keep it. But I'll put up a picture of it so everybody can see. The bottle itself has a dark brownish tint with the name written in gold on the front. The cap is plastic and gold and in color, and also has the initials S and J written on top there in, I guess it's calligraphy or however it's written. Maybe this is the right way to hold it. So also, the shape of the bottle isn't so typical, right? Normally, you'd get like those rectangular or roundish bottles. This one is like rectangular kind of on the top, but roundish, and then a little more round on the bottom. So I think that's unique. It's a different type of bottle. So we know that the shape isn't too regular. The atomizer is okay, but it doesn't disperse all too well. It's just a little below average. It's not so bad. So that was a brief presentation for Unforgivable, and now we'll move on to the scent. So for the scent, the top notes are birch leaf, green mandarin, tangerine, juniper, basil, bergamot, grapefruit, and Sicilian lemon. The mid notes are iris, lavender, and clary sage. The base notes are tonka bean, amber, Australian sandalwood, rum, and cashmere wood. The fragrance itself isn't all that bad. In fact, it's probably one of the better celebrity scents available. It isn't worth the hefty price that it might retail for, but it is a wonderful scent that is very modern and has a swagger to itself. The citrusy opening is powerful and juicy. The juniper and basil round out its freshness so it isn't too citrusy. I get a fruity, tart citrus over a very green birch leaf, but this is a very short-lived note because in about a minute or so, everything turns salty and marine-like with whiffs of spiced florals. The iris, lavender, and clary sage smooth out the opening and add a level of pleasantry. The base uses pieces of all these elements and adds a rum accord and light amber. The woods and tonka are too light and barely make an appearance. This could be due to the level of body heat generated, so the more heat, the more the base notes will show up. In regards to the Millésime Impérial comparison, I think it's a bit accurate, but mostly it's overstated in my opinion. I think they were aiming for a similar scent to Millésime Impérial and not exactly the same thing like a, same to same clone. Those who don't have the funds to invest in a creed can have a similar experience with this. Unforgivable is a bit more spicy and a little darker than Millésime Impérial. I prefer to remain neutral in my rating in comparison of the two. The top notes are probably the better part of this scent and would be better if the top notes was actually the dry down. So that was my take on the scent for Unforgivable. Now we'll move on to the rating. So for the rating, in terms of distinction and uniqueness, I will give it a 6 out of 10. Obviously, it's supposed to smell like Millésime Impérial, and I think it does what it set out to do. It's not a complete clone, which I think was never the idea, but because of the obvious similarities, I'll keep it as a 6. For longevity, I give it a 5 out of 10. This sucks as far as longevity is concerned. The problem is that it doesn't last more than 4 hours, and if you spray on more than 4 to 5 sprays, you'll start to choke people out. For projection and sillage, I give it a 5 out of 10. It projects well for a good hour, and then that's it. Then it becomes a skin scent till it dies out completely. For versatility, I give it an 8. This can be worn dressed up and dressed down, but you should know that if you're wearing it dressed up, it's not going to last too long. It can also be worn in any season. However, I don't think it'll do too well in the very cold winter nights. But still, it's a good scent because, we are mostly in climate-controlled environments anyway. For compliment factor, I give it a 7 out of 10. You will get compliments for the first hour you wear it, but if people can smell you, then they'll tell you smell nice. But beyond that, I wouldn't expect any compliments to come your way because it'll only last about an hour on your, it'll only project an hour off your skin. For presentation, I give it a 7 out of 10. I like the bottle, like just on its own, the way the bottle is. It's a different design, so that's cool. The box it stays in is not that great, and the plastic holder that it comes in, that too makes it look really weird. The bottle is fine on its own. The atomizer could use an improvement because it's a little below average, but that's okay. For the Scentonomic factor, I give it a 6 out of 10. The 100 ml bottle can be bought for $27 on FragranceNet, but that price isn't too far behind the retail price. The scent itself doesn't stand out too much on its own either. So in terms of overall value, it's just okay. If a person really likes this, then that's good, and it's not that bad. But I think that the money could be spent in a better way, or a better fragrance can be found, or maybe just save up and buy the actual Creed if that's what you're trying to go for. So for overall, I would give it a 6 out of 10. Please don't get the wrong idea. This is a good fragrance that smells really nice. All I'm saying is that there are better fragrances out there in terms of performance. If you don't own Millésime Impérial, this is a decent alternative. If you save up for Millésime Impérial, that's probably the better thing to do. Or you can go for something totally different because ultimately it's your call. I'm just trying to explain it as I see it without sugarcoating it. I'm definitely not hating on this, but I'm neither fanboying on it either. So that was my review of Sean John's Unforgivable. Please like and subscribe if you have not already done so. Also, please comment down below and let me know your thoughts on Unforgivable versus Millésime Impérial. Once again, thank you very much for watching the video and showing your support. I truly appreciate it, and it means a lot to me. I wish you all a wonderful day. This is Nabeel signing off from Scentonomics, where every scent counts.